If you want to just point your mic the mic itself. The mic itself. No, the mic itself. The mic itself. Just the mic. You're touching all the pieces around the mic. That's it. You just point up ever so slightly.
This moves.
Yeah, it's on a yoke stand. So
wow.
just
Look
point it up.
Look at Michael using like fancy words out here.
Yeah, the yoke stand.
You should know yoke.
Get yoked.
I don't think Aaron would know
Is that a marriage joke, Michael?
I was definitely thinking like
I was like, get strong. That's what I was, because I was like, you wouldn't understand.
I'm sorry,
that. You would think marriage.
Oh, wow.
Hold on, we think marriage is not is not that big a burden, huh?
Hopefully.
It's the best yoke there is.
Who's pulling who though?
It's equal. I have a healthy marriage. It's equal.
I definitely heard the word sequel. That's how in it I am right now. Speaking of sequels, A24 Part 2.
A24.
Here we go. 2019.
Yes. Yeah. All right. Let's just jump into it.
Full send it.
Yeah. Well, the first one, I haven't seen it. Midsommar. I haven't seen this one.
Wait, you haven't seen it?
I told you the story, right? Like I started it, like literally the opening credits, and then it's like, time to go to bed.
That's not right.
It's a slow start.
It's fair.
It was literally like me. This was like heavy quarantine, and it was like it was like late. It was probably like past midnight, and like a bunch of friends we were like, we got to decide what to watch, and we took like a million years to decide what to watch, and it was Midsommar, and then like opening credits, and they were like, I'm kind of tired. I was like, me too. That's where we're at, you know.
Cool story, bro. All right, let's talk about Midsommar.
Yeah,
That's a shame, because it's a fantastic movie. Michael, you've seen it.
I have.
What did you think?
As a Swedish person, not accurate. Sweden. Like, Swedish Midsommar. It's Midsommar. It's not, it's not.
it gets like
We don't do a lot of that.
Okay. Okay.
But there's a post with a lot of flowers on. We have that.
Okay.
We have the decor of the movie. That's about it.
I love
the rest.
Anything
of
else?
it, no.
Anything else?
That's the takeaway.
That's the takeaway.
Anything
As
else?
far as no. But the movie's good. Definitely. I had higher expectations coming from Hereditary. Since it's the same Ari Aster, right?
Yeah. Aster.
But I thought it was like. It was captivating and like I don't know. It was captivating. What is it? Enjoyable but uncomfortable. But then
Enjoyable but unpleasant.
Enjoyable but unpleasant.
Yeah.
But it went too far. I think it went so far down the road that I was like,
Yes.
all right,
Yeah.
I think I'm okay. Never need to see this again.
Yes.
Just
Yeah.
Agreed.
But it did. I think it became the jumping off point for the Florence Pugh love because she's just so good
Yeah.
in the role. So.
Yeah.
That's true. And especially I remember like the marquee, like the show poster for that film that has her face and that iconic scene.
And she's like kind of crying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was sort of an intense scene in the film. But yeah, it is like the quintessential. Someone asks you, "Hey, is this a good movie?" And you go, "Absolutely." And they say like, "So I should watch it." No.
Yeah.
No, you shouldn't.
Yeah.
Because it is that like he like toes the line where you're like, oh, this is uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And then I think there is a point where it's like, oh, what am I looking at now?
Yeah.
Like this is kind of
I'm a sick person.
kinda. It's like who came up with this?
Yeah.
Like who like sat down and was like outlining the script
Yeah.
for this film and was like, so check this out.
Yeah.
There's a bear.
Yeah.
And then if you've watched the movie, you'll understand what I'm talking about.
Mm.
And you're like, what? No,
Yeah.
I don't like this. That being said, it's probably one of the best like horror psychological thriller films that I've seen. I think it's written really well and it elicits a lot of those type of feelings to the point where I would hesitate for someone to watch it if they're not prepared for it.
Knowing me, should I watch it?
No. No chance.
Zero thought went into that.
What? There's a movie in here before that you were just all like, it didn't really end happy. So I don't really know if I liked it yet. This is not the movie for you.
Okay. It's not going to go well.
No. Like
Yeah.
it's everything seems nice and then just entropy. Like just decays
The entire-
into absolute chaos.
Yeah.
And then the movie's just over.
Yeah. Directed by Ari
Yeah,
Aster.
literally. That's Spark Notes done.
Yeah.
It's probably the most, from like a horror perspective, very A24.
Yeah.
So how
Very.
A24 is it? Very A24.
Very.
Yeah.
I forgot that's the scale we're using.
Yeah. On a scale of 1 to A24.
Yeah.
A24.
I'd give it a 22.
Yeah. All that to say, great movie though. Loved it. Yeah, fantastic.
It's somewhere.
Would
I
never,
think
would never
if-
watch it again.
If I was to give it a credit over Hereditary, it would be pacing. I feel like Hereditary definitely like
Yeah.
the wheels, the acceleration takes a little time.
You're like,
Whereas
"Let's- come
Midsummer,
on."
it accelerates, but then it drives off the cliff at the end. So
Literally.
you know, like I feel like overall it was good, but then I feel like the last
Yeah.
15, 20 minutes just
Literally off a cliff. Like actually,
Yeah.
watch the movie
With a bear.
with a bear, dude. Now I'm thinking of the movie and I'm like, nah. I'm okay. But anyway,
Well, so this is like the very polar opposite A24 movie, which is the next one, which is The Farewell.
which I have not seen. That's all you.
Have you seen The Farewell, Michael?
No.
I'm alone here. It is just the most wholesome, like it. I wouldn't say it's wholesome. So it's about
This is A24, right?
immediately. Yeah, there's gonna be some tears in there.
Wholesome until someone dies.
Yeah. Well, so it's the premise is that Aquafina, which like I know some people don't like her. I think she's fine, but like she's essentially like she has to go to China because like her grandmother has cancer, and like the entire family is going to like say their goodbyes to her, but they're also not telling the grandma that she has cancer, like because they don't. I think it's like I forget the reason why, but it's that trip, like the last trip to see their grandma. And it's sad, but it's also very peaceful and it's kind of funny. And it's not, there's no bear in it. There's no bear.
It's missing a bear.
It's bearless.
It's bears.
Yeah. But yeah, I would definitely recommend it. Like, it's like, if you see it on Netflix or something, it's just like it's like a Friday night and you just watch it with like, you know, like with someone you love and you just like sit there and you're like, I feel good. I feel like just chill and like sad, but also happy.
Fair enough.
It's a good movie.
Yeah, I remember seeing a lot of the commercials and the previews for it. And I am in the pro Aquafina camp. I like her.
Solid.
I think she's a good actress when she's not being like when the primary performance is not just her voice. Because I feel like a lot of different roles that she comes into is because of she has a very unique voice.
Yeah.
It's supposed to bring that type of character. But when she's actually like playing a
Like
legitimate
acting.
character, she's actually acting.
Yeah.
And she's actually a very good actress.
There was a movie called Quiz Lady that came out last year with Aquafina and Sandra Oh. And it was like actually like it's like a comedy and it was a pretty solid movie. But like apart from that, she actually brought like a very like a performance that she didn't have to do. Like she just had to. It's one of those movies where like no one would have like bothered her if she just like stood on her mark and said her lines. But she actually has like this like physicality and like this like what she brings to the character. You're like, oh, are you
an actress?
like she's good.
I mean, this is a step up from Raya and the Last Dragon. Fantastic.
Anyway,
All right, cool.
yeah.
Next up, we've got The Lighthouse. So
I
just watched this.
You just watched this.
I just watched this today. What the heck?
So the funny
Brother.
thing, this movie, man, freaking weird.
Yes.
And what, like you said, what's going on?
There's so much, there's so much analysis there.
Yeah.
I know there's way more, and I probably have to watch some breakdowns or video essays that people have probably made about this film.
Like a red circle in the thumbnail.
Yeah, right. I know there's a few different allusions that I could pick out, because I think there was definitely something going on with the whole, especially. I guess we're doing spoilers, but
spoilers, real quick. Spoilers. Skip ahead.
Actually, I can try to keep it a little bit spoiler free.
Okay.
I think that there's a thematic tie-in to the story of Prometheus from Greek mythology.
Because that's in the movie as well, right? They talk about Prometheus.
Kinda. I don't know if they actually end up saying it directly or not.
Yeah.
But the way that sort of the characters are, and there's one particular scene at the end of the movie that kind of pinned it for me that I was like, oh, I kind of see how this is weaving in and out of this.
Mm.
But the metaphor of what the lighthouse is, though, that's still one I'm gonna have to like think about.
What
for
is
a while.
this? Yeah.
Yeah, because I was kind of getting it a little bit, and I was like, oh, on top of this thing. But I think it's one of those things that, like, depending on what perspective that you're watching it from,
Yeah.
like, there's probably a lot of different like allegories that you could layer onto the film.
Yeah.
But in and of itself, I thought that it was shot really beautifully.
Mm.
In the sense that it's just very unique.
It's so beautifully shot.
And for a black and white film to balance contrast so drastically.
It's very contrasty.
Right, yeah, because it's not just like a normal black and white film.
Yeah.
It's like a very like, whoa.
It feels almost like because I feel like you can shoot like a Francis Ha or something, and it's like a modern. It feels modern, but it's still in black and white. This movie feels like it was shot in like 1902. I feel like, you know what I mean? Like when it's set.
Sans the wardrobe and the characters and stuff, which definitely of an earlier time period. But yeah, for sure, it has some grit to it.
Yeah,
it's a gritty movie.
Yeah.
And it's kind of got like this theatrical
flair
to it.
Yeah.
Not quite like it's a stage play, but you kind of get a little bit of that vibe, and maybe that's some of the performances and the way that it's shot, because there's a lot of like tight framing on some of the dialogue scenes, and I thought that it was really interesting. So like visually, I thought that it was fantastic.
Incredible.
Narratively, I was like, I was kind of lost, and so I had to like, it was one of those ones where I was also in the middle of doing something else, so I had to like pause it and then like go do something else, then come back and like continue watching it.
Yeah.
So it gave me time to sort of like digest certain parts of like, so I'm like, so what's happening?
Yeah, and you
what
still
are the
didn't get
motivation for these characters? Because
Yeah.
I'm like, it's just two dudes being dudes right now. But then it just escalates
Yeah.
really quickly
Yeah.
at the end.
It starts out with farting and ends with something.
Yeah, I
little-
was like, oh,
Yeah.
there's a bear, and then, no, there's not a bear. But yeah, I thought that it was really interesting. A very A24 movie.
Yes, absolutely.
Like, if someone was like, hey, should I watch this movie? And I'm like, do you like A24 movies? And they're like, and I'd be like, no. Don't watch it.
I very nearly watched this movie for the first time with my parents, and I thank God that I did not.
Oh, that would have been a mistake.
I'd have been like, eh.
Not even necessarily about the content, but more so just like, it would have been one of those, Josh, what are you watching? Why are you...
Do you find this nourishing?
Why do you like these types of movies?
I like the cinematography.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting. Michael, have you seen The Lighthouse?
I have not. I've only heard the takes of others.
I would
It's worth
recommend
a
you
watch.
Yeah, I'd recommend you watch
alright.
it
Okay.
right after The Lobster when we watch that together.
Yes.
Love The Lobster.
Yeah.
Anyway, how A24 is it? It's about as A24
I would give it
gets.
about an A22 out of A24.
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
A22 out of A24.
Yeah.
It's pretty dang A24 for sure.
Yeah.
I love your notes that says mysterious but really cool.
I shouldn't have sent you that, Doc. Just roasting from you.
Very visually cool. Yeah, man. Agree.
Yeah. Glad you brought it up.
All right.
Oh, man.
Still in 2019, next is your favorite movie.
Yes. The one I talk about a lot.
All the time. And I feel
Even
bad
though-
because I still haven't seen it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't like it. I don't know. But it imprinted on my brain.
You tell me that every time.
I
You're
do.
like, I really don't like this
I just
movie.
want to be clear. I don't like it. Yeah. No, it's very another one that's very visually interesting. Everything is shot in close up, but like some movies, like they do that and I just hate it, but I don't hate it really here. It's there to create like just this feeling of tense. Like it's just very tense and it's like very good at that.
Wait, did we say what the movie is? The movie is Uncut.
Uncut Gems. Oh. We should just go the entire way and not say what the movie
I was
title is.
queuing you up to say, yes, Uncut Gems
Yeah.
is my favorite movie. You just went
freaking
into
never.
like, I like this movie, but I hate it at the same time. Uncut
Minus the
Gems
liking.
is the movie with
Yeah.
Adam Sandler
Yeah.
and
One of the most
Kevin
famous.
Garnett.
Yes.
In that movie.
Yeah. And The Weeknd.
Right.
For 2 seconds. Yeah, no, it's like it's a weird thing I noticed like a second time around was like it's not like it represents hip hop like weirdly well, like more than a lot of like other A24 movies, because it's like very like Adam Sandler's like a jeweler, but he's a jeweler for like basketball players and like famous people in like hip hop. And so there's like a lot of like, I don't even know how to describe it. Like all the jewelry and like the locales they go to, like they go to a club at one point. Weird little Easter egg, but Trinidad James, who had that one, the one hit wonder, All Gold Everything. Do you know that song?
I think I know. If I'm thinking of the song in my head correctly, I think
Like
so.
gold all in my watch.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Is in that movie as well.
Oh, interesting.
But yeah, like it represents hip hop very well, I think, without being like a hip hop movie. It's interesting. But yeah, no, I've talked about Uncut Gems before. I don't like it.
All that to say, I don't like
it. Yeah.
Why do you not like it?
I think like I think I've said before, like you can't, and I know the point is that you can't get behind this character, but he's like the worst person you've ever. And it's like, it's not even like, like movies where you're like, oh, this guy sucks. And then by the end you're like, oh, but he's come around. Like, or he's like, he's lovable in some ways. It's like, no, like this guy just continually like it. I think I've said it on a past episode, but like he makes bad decisions. And then like when those bad decisions cause like repercussions, he still continues to make bad decisions. He's not like, well, time to fix the mess I made. He's like, time to make this mess like way worse for myself. And you're just like, I don't want to. It's just like, go to a meeting, man. Like, I don't. You can cut that joke out. That's not. It's not cool. Yeah. Like, I think it's just like the character is like really, really unlikable, and like it is his movie, so it's like you're just like stuck with this person that you don't like. I don't know.
That's very interesting.
Yeah, a lot of people love it though.
Do you think he's oblivious to how terrible he is as a person?
That's a good. Cool. I think he gets glimpses of it. Like he's like, there's a bit where like, and it's not really a spoiler, but like there's like a very small subplot of this movie that he's like divorcing his wife. And then there's a bit where like, he's like, it's like towards the end of the marriage and like, they know they're going to get divorced. And he like comes in on her and he's like, hey, like, like you look really pretty today. Like, I don't know. Like, do you want to give this another shot? And she just like laughs in his face. And I'm just like, maybe in that moment he was like, oh, am I a terrible person? But like, there's like,
interesting.
Yeah. And then like, he just, I don't know. It's hard to say, but he's so like, Adam Sandler so like buries himself in that character and is so not Adam Sandler and is so that character that it's like very impressive, but it's just, I don't know. Yeah. Not for me.
Enjoyable, but unpleasant.
I give this one an A19 out of A24.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
I love that this is the new scale.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. We've finished 2019.
Yes.
And now we're into our 2020 movies.
Yes.
There's only one.
Yeah.
Which is On the Rocks. Have you seen this film?
Yes. It's not. This is one I don't love either. It's funny how many of these I don't like, and yet I've seen so many A24 movies. I like A24, but yeah, no. It's Sofia Coppola directed, Rashida Jones, Bill Murray, and it's like it kind of centers around like Rashida Jones fears that her husband is cheating on her.
Oh,
did you see like ads for this and stuff?
No, yes. I know this film. Okay. Yeah, now I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I've not seen it though, but I know what you're talking about. Okay.
It's one where I just like, and I always hate saying this like when in terms of like art, because art is like very subjective and like also like real people made it, and I'm just like, you put your heart and soul in this, but I feel like it doesn't achieve what it went for, and I feel like that's like when you can say art is like quote unquote bad, because I feel like there's a lot of stuff like I cannot say that Uncut Gems is a bad movie because it sets out to do exactly what it did. But I feel like this movie like doesn't accomplish, like it doesn't really say much, and like, or it doesn't like achieve in saying much. And like there's not a lot of like, I just feel like Rashida Jones like doesn't put in like that, like she doesn't like put her all in. I don't know what it is, because I really like Rashida Jones as well. But like, yeah, it doesn't feel like a movie that like achieves what it went for, I guess. And so it's just kind of like just not a great movie.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, dang, now I'll have to watch it.
Form an
What a
opinion.
fantastic review.
Yeah.
This movie misses the mark
Yeah.
on all accounts.
Go watch it.
It sounds, which kind of sad. at least from the sound of it, just because it sounds like it has a lot of great minds behind it.
Good group. Yeah.
Especially with the cast, and
Yeah.
I love a Sophie Coppola movie.
Mhm.
Okay, cool. So that was it for 2020.
Yeah.
Right?
I didn't see Boy State, so.
Oh, okay, yeah. If there are any other A24 movies that happened within the year of 2020, let us know.
In the comments below.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you have any recommendations.
I was stuck at home.
All right, so now we're moving into 2021.
Yes.
Minari. I also just watched this today.
Did you?
I did.
What'd you think?
This movie like slightly wrecked me. Just a little bit.
Slightly wrecked.
So funny, I listened to the score of this film first,
Of course you did.
like a while ago, because I'd heard a particular song from the score.
Yep. Just browsing.
Yeah.
Just browsing
Because
indie movie scores.
I listen to weird music sometimes.
What was your most listened to like song of last year? It was like this like classical piece from like
Oh,
another country.
I
I was just like, of course.
Yeah, Is It True by the Bread and Eder Ensemble.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
typical.
was really good, actually. I love that. I was like, oh, I need music to make me feel things. Done.
The funny thing about that as well is that it's not even like you're like trying to like be like, oh, I'm cool by like, you know, listening to this music. It's because it's your most played song.
Yeah.
Like when no one was there, you were just like bump it.
Yeah, guys, I'm so edgy.
Anyway,
Yeah, so I
Minari.
heard the score for this film before I actually saw the film, and then I watched the film today. What a beautiful movie! I really liked it. I know you didn't like it
based on the notes that I put there.
based on the notes that you put on here, and
Yeah.
I love it because your note is. It didn't feel like it came together in an emotionally satisfying way at the end,
Yeah.
which I think is hilarious.
Because it was the exact opposite experience for you.
Correct.
Yeah. Movies, you know?
No, I thought that it was really good. The score is fantastic. I think it's Emile Mosseri's does the score for it, and got nominated. Unfortunately, did not win, but was really, really good. But I think I love the performances in it, and I think it does a really good job of showing. There's like a lot of different character tension dynamics that are happening at one time. And you don't really pick up on necessarily if you're not maybe like looking for them.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of different themes that are happening simultaneously.
Yeah.
And so there's kind of like a like what it means to be an immigrant, you know, as it's surrounding the, you know, dynamic of a, you know, Korean American immigrants, right? That are living in Arkansas, I think.
Forgive me if I'm wrong, but it's the parents that are immigrants, right?
The
Children are born there.
Yeah, the children are born
Okay.
there, yeah.
Yeah.
And so they've moved, I think, from California to this farm in Arkansas.
Yeah.
And so it's like, you know, living in a predominantly white and rural area.
Yeah.
So there's that. And then there's kind of the intergenerational dynamic between like the young boy, I think his name's David in the film.
Yep.
And his grandma when she comes
Shouts
in.
to the grandma, bro.
Well, yeah, because grandma actually ends up being like this really like this catalyst or like unifying character. I think that like starts to sort of reveal a lot of like the dynamics between the rest of the family when she gets there.
Yeah.
But like this snot-nosed kid, dude, like the way that he like interacts with his grandma, there's a few times where I'm just like, I hate this kid. Which I feel like was kind of the point. And he, you know, he comes around at the end. But yeah, I think like just that the generational juxtaposition that's there, and then Stephen Ewan's character, about how he's just really trying to provide for his family, even though sometimes at the cost of, you know, maybe being a little bit too stubborn or narrow-minded.
It's very downtrodden as well.
Yeah, and so, but there actually is this resolution that happens towards the end of the film. It's just a lot more subtle, and I think it all happens in like one scene, which is really interesting.
Which scene without spoiling it?
The fire. And so I think that like there's a few different things that are at play there, and then it's that last scene at the very end.
Yeah.
With Jacob's character and David's character as they're picking the Minari at the end. So without trying to analyze too much of it, because we're not reviewing the whole entire movie, I thought that it was really, really good. And I think that it's paced like well.
Yeah.
I could see how some might just consider it to be a little bit slow just because the nature of the story, and there's a good amount of it that it's like in Korean as well.
Forgot about that.
Yeah, but you kind of do forget about. Well, I mean, I don't know. Maybe I watch a lot of films with subtitles and stuff, so maybe I kind of forget about them easier than most people would. But
You also can't hear. So.
yeah, deaf.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that I thought that it was really good, and it elevated the score even more. I already liked the score, and then the score for the movie was like really haunting, like but in a in a really beautiful way though. So I really enjoyed it. So I liked it, and I can understand why it got a lot of the Academy buzz that it did. It won something.
Did it? Do you know, Michael?
Or no?
The movie Minari, I believe, won Best Picture
Did
for
it?
the 2020 asterisk. Only had so many movies.
Did it?
Okay.
No, I thought it
Was
was.
it not? Was it just nominated?
I think it was nominated. I think the Coda won Best Picture.
Oh
Oh,
yes.
was that year? Dang.
Was
21?
was that the asterisk year? Or
No, because so 2021 Minari came out, so it'd
Right.
be the 2022 Oscars.
it didn't.
No.
Best
It came
Picture.
out 2020.
Did it actually?
2021. Yeah. I mean, it came out in the Oscar season 2020, probably January 21.
I have it on a 21.
But yeah, I knew that it was the what is it, the Railroad Station Oscars that it was nominated for. But I thought it won because that was the whole stink about best performance, best motion picture nominee. Never mind, but it won for best supporting actress.
What won that year? Wait, which supporting the grandma?
Yeah, Grandma.
Look at that.
She did an amazing job.
It's my favorite character.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Hardcore.
Yeah.
Great movie. Really liked it.
Mm.
It's a heart tugger for sure. Music, fantastic. Listen to the score.
I should give it another
Listen to the
listen.
score.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Yeah.
But I liked it. I'd give it probably like a 9 out of 10. It's
I
pretty
wouldn't,
A24.
but it is. I was gonna say that it's like we're looking at a strong like A20.
Yeah, a very A24 movie though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. What's next?
The Tragedy of Macbeth.
Which you've seen and I have not.
Brother. Do you
Tragic?
do you like Shakespearean literature?
I haven't in the past, but maybe I need to watch more. I don't really know.
Maybe. Yeah, it's great. I love this one. So I was trying to decide whether or not I like this Macbeth or Michael Fassbender's Macbeth.
I've heard good things about
Better.
that one.
That one is also really good.
Hmm.
They're both really good.
Mm-hmm.
Here's what I would say. I would say that Michael Fassbender's Macbeth is, I think, a better adaptation of the play.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say that the Tragedy of Macbeth, which I'll just dub Denzel's Macbeth, I think is like if you're I don't know if I can even say that. I think that it's no, I can't say that either. Trying to have a decisive take on it, and I'm like, I don't know if I can do that.
It's
just
a
really,
good
really,
movie.
It's just really, really good.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I think Michael Fassbender is definitely like a better maybe adaptation of the play.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as like a film goes,
Mm-hmm. It's a better movie.
yeah, I think it's a better movie.
Mm.
This one.
Okay.
I think that it's more artistically told,
Mm-hmm.
and the way that it's shot is sort of it's in black and white, and it also is one of those like it's kind of surreal almost. There's a lot of surrealism inside of
I love that.
of the movie in the way that it's shot, but there's these certain scenes that kind of give you the feeling of watching a stage play in the way that it's like framed and the kind of how they move these performances. But then it kind of switches to some non-traditional camera angles or, some of these shots that are really interesting. And so the sets with throughout the film and stuff kind of seem theatrical, but because they're kind of, you could tell that they are sets, you know. So there's a little bit of surrealism in that. It is in, you know, it's actual Shakespearean English lines.
Yeah.
So you're
It's like word for word, essentially.
for the like if I don't know, I won't say that just
Yeah.
because if you're an actual like Shakespeare nerd, you'd probably be like, actually,
You're yelling
you know?
at the podcast right now.
Yeah, it might be a like,
Yeah.
I don't know if this is necessarily the most faithful telling of, you know, the actual Shakespearean literature. But it is Shakespearean English.
Yeah.
But it's digestible for sure. And I really, 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 really like Denzel Washington's performance. It is fantastic. As well as I don't even know this actress's name, but if I showed her to you, you'd be like, oh yeah, her. She has a very, very distinct voice. She's an older woman. It's really
Frances
raspy.
McDormand?
I was going to ask if it was Frances McDormand.
Yeah,
Because she's in a ton of the Coen Brothers movies.
Yes.
She's married to one of them.
Yeah. It's yeah, dude. Fantastic. Great performances all around. So I thought it was really good. So I liked it. Very artsy. It's long, you know. So if you like Shakespeare, then you'll like the movie, I think.
Okay.
But if you're like, I just want to watch an artsy A24 movie, it'll hit all those bases, but how much you're going to enjoy it,
Yeah.
I don't know.
It does seem like I would enjoy it, so might give it
I
a
would give it a go.
Uh-huh.
If anything, just watch it for visuals. Like, it's visually
It
stunning.
seems, I saw stills when it came out, and I was like, oh my gosh, that looks
Oh,
incredible.
yeah. It is a mood board type of movie, for sure.
It's up
really
there with
good.
a ghost story.
Literally. Yeah, it's like, it's just on everybody's moon boards. No, but I thought it was really, really great. And they do some great stuff with contrast and lighting and stuff. Not as sharp as The Lighthouse, but still very much like, you get used to it. Like, you're like, oh, I'm watching a movie that has no color. But it was really great. Loved it.
All right.
Would recommend.
What's next?
You haven't seen it, have you, Michael?
I have not.
You should give it a go. All right, and this is the movie of the year, I guess. We've moved on to 2022 next. And first one up is Everything
I don't
Everywhere All at
know.
Once.
I don't know if we maybe covered this on a different on the part one, but Green Knight was in there just before that one. I don't know.
I
if we
didn't
talked
see
about
Green
that.
Knight.
Yeah,
Just
we
nobody
took
saw it.
out 'cause we
Okay,
didn't
cool.
see it.
Yeah.
I guess we're filtering by that. I just
Yeah,
feel like
we're
that was
like,
a
what we've-
notable one. That's like very high
Absolutely.
profile, very A24.
Did you see The Green Knight?
I did not. I'm just saying like
Okay,
I wasn't sure
no
if
one
we-
saw it.
No one saw it. I don't
No
know
one
if we're just
saw it.
covering the ones we saw. but
Yeah.
Yeah. If you have seen it, let us know what you think about it.
I do have a
Give us a
flight.
review.
I'm catching a flight tomorrow, and I need like content to download. So I might download The Green Knight. Give me content. Yeah.
Okay, so
Anyway.
barring The Green Knight,
Yeah.
we're moving on to 2022. So first one up, we got Everything Everywhere All at Once. Thoughts?
What a weird movie.
Yeah.
My parents hated this movie.
Really?
They walked out of it.
No.
Yeah.
I could see Kirk walking out of the
Literally,
movie, but-
literally, my parents didn't walk out, but had the exact same reaction, like very offended and just like, "Oh, what is this movie?" Like,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
Was it the hot dogs?
I think it might have been the hot
I think
dogs.
the hot dogs
I'm
went
dead
over the
serious.
top.
I came and saw them after the Academy Awards, and I just went hot dog fingers, like after they won, because they were so mad about it. Yeah, he was like, "This the hot dog fingers were so stupid." Like he said that. My dad. I was like, I don't know. I liked it. Yeah.
For my parents, it was, oh, why are they promoting violence against their children? And like, is this like a weird look at mental health? Like, this is like a metaphor for people wanting to hurt people with mental. And I'm like, this is you're taking it. It's already going on a leap. You took it on a further leap.
Yeah.
Bro, that's the most therapist thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
What's the deeper meaning? Yeah. Shouts to your dad.
How do you feel about this movie?
Yeah.
What is the media doing to the youth nowadays?
It's it's a really good movie though.
It's a fantastic movie.
Yeah.
It made you feel all the things.
Yeah.
If they're like think of like a thing.
Think of a feeling.
Anything.
Yeah.
One thing.
Just a thing.
Now take that and think of all of the other ones.
All at once.
There you have it.
Yeah.
That's the movie.
The way they were so creative with like the different universes and like with a relatively like if you think about it, the movie is mostly set in like an office.
Right.
And it's this multiversal like adventure in an office. Like it's insane. And like the creative way that like this like bit where like she like absorbs one of her personalities that was like really good at like sign flipping, and then now she can like flip like the barricade shields and stuff like that. Just like such a creative use of like different I gotta watch it again. Dang.
Yeah.
Such a good movie.
Also, one of the funniest, the hardest I've laughed in a theater is, it's kind of an obscure moment, but Jenny Slate is like really briefly in this movie, and like an evil
I already
version
know
of
what you're
her.
talking
Do you know the
about.
bit where she has the dog and she just throws
She throws
it?
the dog.
I burst out laughing, like screaming in the theater. I don't know why, but it's just so funny to me.
Yeah, that is one of my favorite scenes.
Mhm.
Hot Dog Finger is one of my favorite scenes. There's one of strangely enough, and I know we literally just talked about Midsummer, but like one of the most uncomfortable scenes is that I've viewed for me is in this movie, where homeboy has to like, they always have to do like weird things.
I know you're
like,
gonna talk
jump
about
into a next one, and he's like giving himself paper cuts in between his fingers.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the other one.
Oh no, that one was just funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, where he like lands on the butt plug thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For anybody that doesn't know the context.
Yeah.
Don't know the
Child's play.
There's not an appropriate context for that though. It's not like, oh, now that I hear, like I understand the
When is there
context.
appropriate context for butt plug?
No, like just like you can't watch the movie and be like, oh, that made sense. It's like, no, it still doesn't really make sense at all.
Yeah, not quite. But he's literally running like in the middle of dialogue, and he's like giving himself paper cuts between his fingers. And I was like, I don't know
about
what
that.
it was, but I
Yeah.
was cringing the whole entire time. I was like,
Yeah.
I just can't. I think it makes me queasy. But yeah, I thought it was really great. And then there's the one scene where it's Stephanie and Michelle's characters where they go into the universe where they're rocks. And there's that dialogue scene with no dialogue where they're just like rocks and like that's it. And I was just like, this is the best scene in the whole movie.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Like I
So
felt I was
funny.
like, yo, like as someone who I don't know, probably existentially thinks about things too much.
Yes.
This was like a fever dream for me. I was just like, it's all here, it's all happening.
Yeah.
So
Very
in the best
poetic.
way, where it was like not, you just want to kind of like go die in a pit later.
Yeah.
Like, nothing matters. But it kind of made it
Comes around at the end.
Yeah, but poked fun at a very real thing, which is like sort of just existential dread and despair.
Yeah.
But
With
it kind of
rocks.
but like disarms it. In a way
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
like, oh, that we're gonna validate that real feeling because that's like a real thing. And I think that they actually portrayed it really well.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh, I've definitely had thought processes like this. I feel seen. Thank you. But then it was also like, that's also ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I'm like, thanks. I also needed that. They didn't
Yeah.
leave it there. It was just like, but also live your life.
Yeah.
So I thought that it was,
Love the people around you.
yeah. And I was like, oh, well,
Yeah.
that it wrapped up really nicely.
Oh man.
So I thought it was really good and so low budget.
It's actually, I think 25 mil. I don't
Yeah,
think it's that low budget.
But I mean, I would say low budget in the sense that like if you think about, I don't know if you've seen like the behind the scenes and how they made some of these
Oh,
shots.
insane. Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
you'd think that like, oh, there's some crazy amount of
Yeah.
CGI rigmarole, and obviously there's a lot of scenes that are like heavily digitized. There's a lot of CGI.
Yeah.
But there's some stuff where they're just like, oh yeah, this is just like we just took a bunch of pictures on my phone.
Yeah.
And then just
That,
like
yeah. Well,
rotoscope these bad boys together.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, bro, what?
yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
A
Wow.
full feature length film with iPhone footage.
There's a frame
Bonkers.
in the movie that's them editing the movie.
You're right.
Right.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
I didn't see that.
There was, even in the theater, there's a bit like, so there's like one of her personalities is like, what's the main character's name? The actress's name?
Michelle Yeoh.
Michelle
Yeoh.
Yeoh. There's one like universe where she's like a famous actress, and they show like real life footage from like Crazy Rich Asians, like the red carpet.
Oh, yeah.
And I saw that in the theater. I was like, that can't be right. And then I looked back. I was like, oh shoot, it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really good movie.
Fantastic. And the performances were really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
Another win for the Asian Americans as well. I know that they were hyped up about that film.
Yeah.
But I just thought that it was just great.
Yeah.
10 out of 10.
Super good movie.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Just we skipped this for a couple of them, but how A24
This
is everything everywhere.
This is an A24 out of A24. I feel like.
Yeah, but also it's so nonsensical.
Mhm.
Like it's a little bit more outlandish.
and goofy. Is that what
Yeah.
you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it still tackles really serious themes, and it does it really well.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of like, what the heck,
Yeah.
sort of thing.
Yeah.
That like in some ways you would not expect from a traditional or stereotypical A24 movie, in the sense that like, wow, I had a lot of fun.
It's way more silly than like a lot of other A24 movies.
But like still done in a very A24 way. So I would agree. It's still a very A24 movie, but with an asterisk,
Yeah.
I guess. Which, in my opinion, made me like it even more.
Mm.
So yeah, I thought it was really good.
Great movie.
Yeah, yeah. Your notes say Jenny Slate throwing her dog.
I really hope you read every single note that I have.
I definitely have read all of these.
Yeah.
And they're hilarious.
I'm just gonna delete them from the doc.
Speaking of Jenny Slate, our next one,
Marcel the Shell.
with shoes on.
I teared up twice in this movie. I saw it this year. I'd never seen it before. And Reese has been like wanting me to see it for like years now. And they put it on Netflix. I was like, let's give this a shot. Freaking so sad. But super good and meaningful and great movie. Michael, what do you think? Because you've seen this.
I'm nodding my head this whole time. Yes. I'm tempted to run out of the room and get my Marcel little figurine. That I have.
I'd say Marcel.
It's been in the background of one of our videos, actually. But
That's right. Yeah.
But no, yeah, incredible movie. Especially for this to just be a spin-off of a YouTube short series
Literally.
they did 10 years before,
Yeah.
and then for the two of them, Jenny Slate and is it Daniel?
Dean Fleischer Camp.
Dean Fleischer Camp.
Yeah.
And just for the two of them to essentially like turn this into a full-fledged thing that had so much heart, so much, just impact. Incredible movie.
Also, Kojima, knows Dean Fleischer Camp.
That's on brand.
Who doesn't you know?
Literally. Yeah. Wild. Anyway,
Shout out to Kawhi Kojima. I'll have to watch it now.
it's incredible.
You super do. Super
Yeah.
do.
Because I've watched the old YouTube videos. And I loved them. So
I almost want to make a new category for how A24 is it, because with Everything Everywhere and Marcel, I don't see other studios making it, but I don't know that it truly
Doesn't
is
feel-
in the A24
You're right.
DNA.
Yeah.
But only A24 would do it, so it's like
right.
I haven't put that much faith in
That
like
in
this
itself-
indie thing that's like
it's
Yeah.
an A24 thing to do, to kind of take your chance on such a bizarre movie. Like if someone came
yes.
to you like and pitched you the concept for Everything Everywhere All at Once, like
You'd be like,
who signs off
You
on
need to be
that?
checked out. You need to be checked out.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just like, oh, that's interesting. But like, no, like 20th Century Fox is like not touching that movie with a 10-foot pole.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Not with $25 million. They're not.
They're
Yeah.
like, and so we need money
Yeah.
for sausage, for Jamie Lee Curtis in sausage fingers.
And it squirts out mustard. Did I mention that?
no, she's gonna win an Oscar for it. It's gonna be amazing.
It's insane to me, bro.
Yeah.
No, I definitely see what you mean. Yeah, I could see that for sure.
Like this is more A24 curated, not as A24 typical. Like
Yeah, not the
because they are a distributor
Right.
first.
Yeah.
I guess so. This feels more like one of those where they know that they can make an audience for a movie like Marcel.
Yeah, I'm done with that. All right. Next up in our 2022 is Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. I will admit that I like every time I saw the trailer for this movie, I was like, this movie looks dumb. And then everybody that I've talked to has been like, no, I really like this movie.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it is, but I'll be
Yeah.
honest, I don't want to watch it still. And maybe it's because like there's this like, I don't know, I feel like I have like a love-hate relationship with James Franco.
James Franco.
Isn't he in this one?
You're thinking of Pete Davidson.
Oh, Pete Davidson. I'm sorry. Yes, I'm thinking of Pete Davidson. It's not James Franco. I'm so sorry. Yeah, Pete Davidson. And like it, yeah. Sometimes I think he's really funny, and it's like wow. And then there are other times where I'm just like, no, I have no other way of how to describe it.
I like him, but I understand what you're saying. Yeah.
So yeah, I have yet to watch it. Maybe I will. Maybe I won't. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, if enough people would still convince me, because several people have been like, no, I really
You have
liked
to.
it. It's really good.
It's like Reese is like one of his favorite movies.
I know. He's told me to watch it like 5 times.
This is 3 Reese specials back to back.
Yeah.
Marcel, everything everywhere.
Yeah.
Bodies.
Yeah, no. It's I honestly didn't like it the first time I saw it. And then recently Reese had like a little birthday thing and we watched it, and we watched it again, and I was like not looking forward to it, and then I watched it and I was like, it's not bad actually. Like my opinion actually like really changed about it, because I think going in, it did feel like, oh, this isn't like this feels dumb. Like this doesn't feel A24 like intelligent, like intelligent filmmaking, intelligent, like thoughtful writing and stuff like that. It's just like really pandering, and just these characters are the worst. And the characters are the worst. Like the second time you watch, you're like, these characters are still the worst. But like, it does feel like more of a statement about like Gen Z and like society and like the usage of phones. And less about like the actual plot. I feel like, I don't know. Do you know what I'm talking about, Michael? Because
less about the plot.
Like it's not like, oh, the plot of this is very intelligently. I can't even explain it. I think it's that the plot is intelligently crafted, and you see that at the end. But like when you're watching it, you're like, these characters are so stupid, and this just feels like a dumb like teen horror movie kind of, but just like with unlikable characters. But like you watch it and then you get to the end. First of all, one of the best endings of any movie ever. Like,
interesting.
Do you know? Which no. That's where I was gonna like fight with you a bit on like intelligent narrative, because I agree. Maybe it doesn't feel as intelligent until the final reveal. Maybe that's just what like makes the whole movie worth it, so to speak.
It does, but absolutely.
For a horror movie, if you can land the ending, you've won. And for a horror comedy, if you can land the ending, you've won. So I feel like I definitely want to give it props for that. But I could see how like, especially the main character, she can be a little hard, like, because the whole movie is her narrative. And I do feel like it is, while you're along the ride with her, it's also hard to understand her. You understand the ensemble way more than you understand the main character.
Yeah, she's more of a mystery.
But which maybe that's why it's like less intelligent, because it's just like there's not much mystery. There's not much, shall I say, intelligent mystery to the main character. So it's not like there's some bigger thing there. But I agree that it's also just like, it's a bunch of people. It's the worst. They're just fighting amongst themselves.
Yeah.
But I thought that was kind of the point, like for it to be like you're laughing at the stupidity, you're laughing at the ridiculousness, which can make it feel more camp, I guess. Even though I'd hard to call it camp.
It's not really camp.
But regardless, I liked it. And I'm not going to out you that the first time we were sitting next to each other in the theater and you got up to leave in the middle of the movie. So I'm just saying, maybe you didn't give it the full length.
Wait, what?
If I'm not mistaken.
No, I didn't. I don't walk out of movies.
I don't know.
Did I go pee? Was that
dumb tiny bladder?
Was that what I did?
No, I'm just saying, like, you know, maybe that's part of it. But I can acknowledge that like it's easy. I could understand somebody falling off of it, especially like. Yeah, but I did enjoy it. I thought it was, especially because I don't really, frankly, horror movies bore me a lot of the time. But for this one to be like the right kind of thriller, but it's just keeping me going with laughs. Like I feel like there was never truly a slowdown. It's just tension built up by the ridiculous jokes and stuff. I've babbled too much for this, but I'm trying to respect it.
It's a good movie. I would say watch this one actually.
Yeah.
Again, for somebody to say, "Oh yeah, Dave Franco, Pete Davidson," like he's the reason I don't want to see this movie.
Yeah.
No, but you know what it is? It's because I think I was thinking of another movie that reminds me of this film when I watched it, which is the one where like Dave Franco has like cornrows or something in it, and he plays.
Now it's Dave Franco.
I'm sorry, James Franco.
You think it's Spring Breakers? Is that what you're thinking of?
Yes.
Spring Break.
Got it.
Yeah. And I hated that movie. I'm okay. That's strong. I didn't hate the movie, but I was like, I don't know why I watched this, and I'm not going to watch it again.
Well, I'm sorry that you have that trauma.
Yeah.
This movie is a safe movie from that trauma.
But also a completely different
just a different movie.
But I think maybe that was like the vibe that was getting in my head, which is probably why I got Pete Davidson and James Franco confused. But anywho, and then also just my love-hate relationship with Pete Davidson. I actually very much like James Franco. I'm okay with him. He's all good.
You very much like James Franco.
Hey, he's good. He's a good actor.
Maybe look up some news stories about him. I don't know.
Oh, I don't know about him as a person. I know nothing about him as a human, but
yeah.
Oh, was he a trash person? Oh shit.
A little bit. Anyway. Sorry, James Franco.
Moral quandary.
Yeah. Although I did hear an interview with him, like when all the stuff went down, and like it was very interesting to see like him, because he did seem like sorry for. Look it up. I don't want to get into it here, but
I'm going to be completely honest with you. I probably won't.
You don't want to taint your memory of James Franco.
I mean, I don't really have one of
He
him as
clearly
a
had
person.
a different trauma of his own.
Yeah.
Have you seen Spring Breaker? I can't do it again.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I just mean as an actor. I have no idea what he's like as a human being. Any shmoo.
Anyway.
I will. Maybe I'll give it a go. Last one in 2022, or at least on our list, is White Noise, and this is the best notes that you have on this that I've ever seen. Which is I don't hate it as much as Reese does. That's the only notes on there.
Yeah.
that
And that's all I'm going to give it. Yeah.
All right, cool. Moving on. 2023.
Yeah. It's an okay movie, but it's Noah Baumbach, who like like Noah Baumbach as a director, like a couple of his movies are like among my favorite movies. Like Fantastic Mr. Fox, he co-wrote with Wes Anderson. Marriage Story is one of my favorite movies. Francis Ha is one of my favorite movies. I won't shut up about it. And like this one, I had very low expectations going in, and like it was just like okay, it was better than I thought it was gonna be. It is one of those movies, like one of those like a white man goes crazy because of like society kind of movies.
As one does.
You know, if you're white. Yeah, it's one of those, but it's not. It's like okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
Anyway,
All
next
right.
one.
Yeah. I just, I've already heard Reese's rant on this film.
He hates it. Yeah.
He can't stand it, which I think is hilarious.
I watched it with him, and we were both just like, huh? We
Yeah.
were both just like,
Yeah.
like we were slowly and like just creeping out of
Yeah.
our own living room, like just creeping
Yeah.
out, like not getting bought in.
All right. Fair enough.
I didn't distaste it as much as him, but I didn't. I didn't fall for it.
All right. Next one is Past Lives. We're in 2023 now. So I really want to see this. I have not seen it yet. I was debating today. It was either going to be this or Minari. And I chose Minari instead, which I do not regret. But
Yeah, it sounds like you enjoyed it.
I still really want to watch this movie. I think from everything that I've heard about it, I think I'm really going to like it. And from what I understand the movie to be, I think I'm really going to like it. But with that being said, how A24 is this film? You've seen it a few times now, right?
I just saw it for the third time this last weekend with Seth and Reese, actually. Seth, who might be on this podcast soon, we'll see. Yeah, no, it's like become one of my favorite movies. Like it's A24 in the sense that like The Farewell is A24. It's just like very peaceful, and like there's a lot of shots of like a farm, like, and it's just, or like it's like in the woods, and it's
so A24.
that's exactly like
There's
it's
a
just,
lot of shots of a farm.
you know. But it's just like very still, and just like the emotions are so complex. It's so real, and just like each time I've watched it, I've like, so the first time I watched it, I went to the theaters alone, and I was just like freaking like on the drive home, just thinking, just like no music, nothing, and then
in your feelings.
in my feels. And then the second time I watched it with like my family, and then we talked about it, and then this third time I talked about it with Reese and Seth, and like it's so thought-provoking and like conversation sparking, and it's just like you feel so much for all the characters. It's such a good movie, dude. Yeah.
That is really interesting.
Yeah.
I'm definitely want to watch it. I'm curious as to what other people have said. My wife has watched this film. She does not like it.
She doesn't like it. Yeah, I remember.
But
Yeah.
she doesn't like it for a very specific reason,
Yeah.
which for her is understandable.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I feel like it's
Yeah.
probably what makes some people like the movie, the complexity of it.
She really hates like when people write plays. I think that's what it is. Like when there's a character in a movie who writes plays.
Oddly specific.
Yeah. I was gonna make a wilder joke, but I was like, I'm gonna go for a tame one.
You're stupid.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely want to watch it. So that's probably going to be next on my list.
Do
Okay.
it.
So that was our 2023.
Mhm.
We may have missed some So
All right,
again,
yeah.
I'm gonna say several.
Please just name.
There was
Those
a
are the-
full year jump. To
the
Past
only
Lives.
the only one that we have seen in there. So we
Right,
know
right,
that there's
right.
we know that there's a lot.
I mean, maybe I don't know. Reese will say something. He could do the fill-in A24 episode.
Yeah, it's a reaction episode.
yeah.
You forgot this.
It's the Reese's actually segment. Actually. Love that.
Yeah.
But yeah. So if there are any other notable 2023 A24 movies, let us know.
No, Michael has a list.
Well, no. Well, there's some 22s we skipped and some 23.
Oh, for
That's what I
sure,
was trying
but
to say. But
have
we
you
could,
seen it?
frankly, there are enough in 23, 24, and we could probably come back and fill some of these. There's a part 3 of A24.
That's
Okay.
fair.
There's definitely more to
watch
talk
more.
about.
No, but yeah, we should probably wrap it up there because A24 has made some more movies. I saw some of their movies this year, but this episode is already insanely long. So yeah, let's wrap it up for there. But like real quick, what is like the quintessential like A24 movie from this episode? I would say it's Everything Everywhere, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's the best one by far, I would say.
I like Past Lives more.
I mean, that's fine. It's wrong, but it's okay.
Technically, you could use the title "Past Lives" in Everything Everywhere All at Once. I feel like it's alternate reality past lives, but
Yeah.
like it works.
Yeah, it's
Literally.
it's the title in a different country is Past Lives.
Yeah, different country, different timeline.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would definitely say Everything Everywhere All at Once and Midsummer. Midsummer, if you dare.
Yeah. If you're bold enough.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's wrap this thing up. What is your favorite A24 movie from this era? Leave it in the comments below. We do love reading the comments. Anything else to add, Aaron?
Be careful and be kind and gentle to yourself with some of these films. That's all I
Amen
would
to
say.
that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Watch Midsummer and then listen to Jack Johnson afterwards.
What?
Just comfort yourself. A big hug, you know?
Okay. Midsummer and just banana pancake. Curious George soundtrack.
All right. Please like and subscribe.
All right, bye guys.
All right, bye, guys.